you may have seen our rugby team, very famous rugby team. We do the hub. Yeah. Come on, Tim, like that. It's pretty cool. Get quite emotional when I see that. From New Zealand, and I am originally, my work is being a landlord for nearly 20 years, so I became financially independent quite a long time ago, not having to sell my time. I learned a lot about the financial system at quite a young age, that it was kind of like a monopoly game kind of thing, so I learned how to play that game, which was quite good, before Bitcoin was even invented, because it's only 15 years old. And I didn't know about it straight away. I first bought Bitcoin in 2013, and from my friends telling me about it, by a technical friend, he's now he realizes it's, I won't go into talking about it, but so I've founded the New Zealand Bitcoiners group, a community, because I was banned from all the crypto and blockchain communities in New Zealand. I'll get back to that later. I met Frances here in New Zealand. She's a nurse. Met her there, and I've been here. This is my third time here in 2 years. And last year I spent my birthday in Rockland, Bitcoin Islands, which was really cool. Met Ethan, which I believe you may have heard. Was that another class?
Yeah, that's my first London State class.
Right.
They're now in their second year in law school.
Yeah, so he's the guy that kind of made Bitcoin Islands, Orange pulled a lot of people there. Have you heard of, read the Bitcoin Beach white paper?
Bitcoin Beach?
White paper, yeah. So El Salvador, that's the first country that has made Bitcoin legal tender. And I've just started reading a white paper, which is about building a circular economy. And when you're talking about doing it, being quite a bit of a circular economy, I was thinking, wow, that could be quite a symbiotic thing there to build that framework that they've been running there the last few years, possibly bring it over here. They call them bubbles. Like they're creating lots of different types of bubbles all around the world based on that framework, and it seems like Dumageti could quite well benefit from that. How many people have Bitcoin already? Sats. Sats is Bitcoin, just a smaller unit of it. You don't have to have a whole Bitcoin, which quite surprisingly a lot of would seem quite smart people I meet. And they're like, oh, Bitcoin's too expensive, I can't buy it. How can I afford a Bitcoin? There's this thing called Sats, like you don't actually have to hold one and just buy a fraction of it, which I think is quite good with the ETFs that have come out now. You guys know about the ETFs? There's $1 billion companies now are buying into it because they've an electronic traded fund, so now it's starting to become like an institutional grade investment. And so people can see they can buy an ETF for I guess a few hundred pesos kind of thing, which they've started to realize, it's a bit more affordable kind of thing, so it brings that, so it's not sats, which is possibly quite more preferable term, because sometimes Bitcoin has a bit of with some people like the green piece and stuff saying One of the things which really, I'm quite very environmentally passionate as well as Bitcoin passionate. And it's somewhat because I heard about this dude quite a long while ago. He was mining Bitcoin off pig feces. So, pig control, which is actually quite a big business here, is having a little piggery, right? But so this dude, there's a massive piggery, and otherwise, if he wasn't mining Bitcoin off, so he's just collecting the runoff, putting it in a pit, a big methane balloon, and converting that methane into energy, and then into Bitcoin, and otherwise that would be going into the waterways. So that really lit the fire under me, going, oh wow, this Bitcoin is actually the advent of making renewable energy profitable. I was kind of hoping that was how Bitcoin, the different energy sources of Bitcoin, but it isn't. But the main energy source of Bitcoin is falling water, like hydro dams. So it's not burning the oceans, it's the complete opposite, It is making renewable energy profitable because there's always falling water, the hydro dams are producing heaps of energy, but they can't use it all the time. So a lot of this energy that this is using is energy that is unused. This energy that nobody else wants. Because it's the cheapest energy. They don't want to pay retail power for energy. The only way that's somewhat advisable is if you're using it as a heater, which is quite common now as well. Instead of having, you guys don't really have heaters here, it's air conditioning. But in countries where, like my country, in winter time, I had an old miner, an S9 miner, and I made it's underpowered, because usually they're quite noisy, but you can underpower it very easily, and then you've got a heater that's actually printing money instead of just heating. So it's quite a good thing. I bought first time in 2013. I put at the all-time high when most people will hear about it. It's in the news because Bitcoin's it's not actually dead. It's the most expensive it's ever been, somewhat recently, and you'll hear a lot more about it soon because of the halving. You guys talk about the halving recently?
It works.
I put half of it into cold storage before seed phrases were around. But you guys may not know about seed phrases, how to store it properly. You don't want to keep it on coins.ph or anything. If it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin.
I asked them to use mobile wallets for their sats.
That's okay.
Felix, Wallet of Satoshi, Blink.
Just as long as it's not on an exchange, it's great. You still have it, but there are much more secure ways, like taking it offline. That's connected to the internet, so there's an element of risk to it that somebody could, have malware on your phone and watch what you're doing on your phone and kind of take it off. So you can put it on cold storage. I unfortunately wouldn't bring my device, so you can have little devices that aren't connected to the internet, and they'll produce a wallet kind of thing where you can put your Bitcoin onto, and so your Bitcoin address never touches the internet. And that's what I did in 2013. But
what was the popular air-gapped wallet in 2013?
It's just a paper wallet.
It's just a paper.
So I guess it was generated on the internet, so it was a hot wallet because the keys were generated on the internet, but it wasn't stored on the internet anyway, 2013. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to access that half of my stack because I didn't secure it, back it up properly, and the other half I put into DeFi because I thought if somebody else has Bitcoin, it's not going to get stolen off me. I never got that Bitcoin back. Yeah, only to discover that newer versions of Bitcoin are actually scams. I didn't know, I'm ignorant. But we all have to kind of go through that process because I was just trying to make more money. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I bought just disappeared. Like not even on the exchange anymore. Just gone. Yeah. So yeah, have any of you felt frustrated with the current financial system and never thought of an alternative store of value? You were talking about some kind of fruit or something before, bags or something, and I was thinking like gold, and it was seeming like, yeah, but people without bank accounts, they, like in some countries, they'll, like a store of value is their cows, and they'll trade their cows or bananas or something, but like a bag of mangoes doesn't last very long. They're rotten, like gold, it doesn't corrode or anything like that, which is somewhat why it's typically quite a good store of value because it doesn't diminish, it stays like that. And with Bitcoin, the key is decentralization. It's the most decentralized, and crypto is actually crypto as it's commonly known now. Crypto is actually like cryptography, which is SHA-256, and like Facebook, TikTok, that's actually cryptography as well. It's just like keeping secrets. But yeah, crypto, since now is actually a company that has made its own cryptocurrency, which, is very different to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a company, and a lot of people often, when I start talking to them about it, I explain I don't actually work for Bitcoin. And they're like, oh, are you just really passionate about it? I'm just passionate about it. Like, I feel sorry for people that don't get any. Okay, that opens them up a bit. Bitcoin's really easy to set up and run your own Bitcoin node and to verify your own transactions and the integrity of the network, which is a little bit, maybe a level up. Once you store your own Bitcoin off cold storage, you ideally, as a Bitcoin, doing how to run your own node, which is super easy compared to cryptos, because you can just have quite different to mining. Like mining uses heaps of energy. You have to have quite a specialized computer. Or you don't necessarily have to. You can actually do it. Like now they have these nerd miners, just tiny little computers. And it's like winning the lottery. You kind of have one. But for a node to back up and verify your own Bitcoin, you can pretty much do it on any old computer. And you just have to have a large hard drive storage to record the whole Bitcoin network on it, and then you can do your own transactions through that and not have to use a third party's node. So it's super easy to do, just got to have like a large terabyte hard drive, and easy to set up, but it does take a couple of days to download the whole Bitcoin network on it. And can anyone think of a reason why decentralization is critical for money? Someone talking about it before, like with the dude trying to explain how they make money and stuff. Because if it's centralized, they can control it. They can just make it, print it out of thin air. But Bitcoin has rules, up or down borders. So you can have a node, run your own set of rules, and super confident on Bitcoin is when I learned that when I learned it was unstoppable and generational wealth was in about 2020 when China banned Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
And nearly half the network went offline and went over borders. A lot of it went to Texas, they got a lot of access in there. Unfortunately, a lot also went to Kazakhstan, so they've got a lot of coal there. Unfortunately, there's a small amount that went there. But yeah, it really, like, half of it went offline. Bitcoin didn't care. Like it didn't affect the network at all. You can still use it, and I'm sure Gcash and stuff. A lot of the times it will have problems every once in a while. It will shut down. It might not work for a day or something. Like we had that with Visa in my country sometimes. The whole Visa network doesn't work. You have to use cash. It's like it doesn't happen. Yeah, thing about here is that there will never be an Ethereum ETF. That's what I was talking about before, like, institutional grade adoption, because it's not sufficiently decentralized. Bitcoin is the only decentralized currency. I mean, a little bit is in before Bitcoin was released, it was completely fair. Like it had what is it called, like immaculate conception. The Satoshi Nakamoto, he had no financial gain, no ego involved. He wasn't concerned about promoting himself or anything. So that makes it immaculate. Whereas every other thing, the talent, he actually mined. Like, how there's only 21 million Bitcoin? Before Ethereum was released, he printed 72 million Ethereum to give to all his buddies and stuff like that. And Ethereum is unlimited. It's infinite, just like fiat money. So it's not limited, they just print it out of thin air. They used to someone have a proof of work, but now it's like proof of stake, which is just like theory, So, I mean, which is a whole big thing as well, is that it's changed. Like the protocols, the rules changed. Like, how is that generational wealth? If we store that for ages, it's like with Bitcoin, it's going to be there for your children and your children's children, unlike other stuff. So, how many people have sent and received sats? Good? Nearly everyone. Cool. That was another thing which really solidified my conviction with it as well. And the use case of cryptos like Solana and stuff like that made me it's a joke, are you serious? Because and that was in 2020, and so that's seriously when I became a massive toxic Bitcoin maximalist and was on all the New Zealand communities that were somewhat interested about it, that they were talking about Dogecoin, which was literally a joke created over a weekend, and a lot of it's too toxic, so I was removed, and that's why I started my own Bitcoin only communities.
How big is the New Zealand crypto community?
About 1,000 people.
About 1,000.
Still not particularly big, but it's really as we were talking before about Bitcoin as being rare. Like it is, you learn about it, and you're talking to your family and friends, and they're like, "It's a scam, whatever." But when you meet another Bitcoiner that understands it, it's like the families, the brothers from another mother. Like you instantly have that connection because you understand. Like it's really cool. Like I rode my motorbike all around New Zealand.
I suppose Instagram, no?
Instagram, yeah, which is pretty much Facebook as well.
Yeah.
But just interesting to learn like I like to ask that all around.
The
Yeah.
more political of the Filipinos go to Twitter.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But for the most part, it's virtue signaling. Trying to be politically correct, which is, I think, the case also with the US.
And you on Nostr yet?
Not a lot. I'm on Nostr. There's no Nostr community in the Philippines. I've met about 3 people who are on Nostr,
Oh, cool.
right? But that's it.
It is. So Nostr is a decentralized social network. So that's really cool. And the Bitcoin signal on there is very live. Like you get a lot of information about
But
it.
you'd be surprised. I attended the Bali Bitcoin conference last year. I met some Hong Kongers who were on Nostr before they understood Bitcoin.
Oh,
It was through Nostr that they were introduced to Bitcoin. And I found that really surprising. Yeah.
very interesting. So I mean, I've got a few resources I thought I could maybe share. One of the top ones, which a lot of people seem to don't know about, and you guys will be quite into seeing here into stats, is tipcards.io.
Oh,
Tipcards.io. All right.
yeah.
So you have heard of it? Yeah.
You can use the pen if you want.
That is how I give Bitcoin to people. I give it to them on a little piece of paper with a QR code. So I used to be like, I'll give you some Bitcoin, download a wallet, and I'll put it on to you. But that's like, a lot of them were just deleted afterwards, because I'm not forcing them to do it, Whereas I just give them a little bit of paper as a tip kind of thing, like a lot of, it's a great way to kind of like restaurants and stuff if they just have a tip jar. It's just a piece of paper that's saying, oh, thank you, they actually have to put in the effort, go home, scan the QR code, and it tells them how to download a wallet and everything that's got all the instructions on it. It's really awesome. I'll write that down. Bitcoincourse.io. It's a nice little 2-hour course to teach you about Bitcoin. Whybitcoinonly.com and bitcoin-only.com. Both like why Bitcoin only is very, very technical. Like it's got everything on there. You'll spend a lot. It's got all. It's like the one and everything of everything Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin only is a little bit more user friendly kind of thing. And it's got lots of different Bitcoin resources on there. YouTube, different things on YouTube like BTC sessions. He's really good. The What is Money show with Michael Saylor, Robert Breedlove. Robert Breedlove was the one that explained the financial system. And I've also created a Bitcoin Beats playlist on YouTube, talking about a grant before, I was called, maybe it was TNZ, there's this lady from New Zealand which has a financial degree, and she's into the financial world, and she's a Bitcoin grant advocate. She just makes real cool Bitcoin videos. There's a few others out there, which I love Bitcoin Beats. It's cool. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Anybody has them?
Questions?
No questions? very little bits and actually quite hard to get that Bitcoin off the platform. Like you have to build up quite a lot. But yeah, so after 2013, it's like, oh wow, it's going up further. So, bought some and then, oh yeah.
Another question. What would be your recommended wallet?
Seed signer is my most recommended. Like there's like a cold. I mean, anything is good as long as it's not on an exchange. But seed signer is really cool. As in,
What makes it special?
Sorry.
Among all of them?
you can build it yourself from parts available. Like so you can buy just individual computer parts. No one knows that you're going to be building. Like nobody knows it's got anything to do with Bitcoin. And like really easy, super simple to assemble, and really cheap. And it's stateless as well, which I really like. Like a lot of people have hardware wallets like a Trezor or Ledger, which are still good, like better than nothing, but they will store your seed phrase on the device, whereas the seed signer, like it only has RAM, so it only has memory if it's got power, and you never plug it into a computer, just a battery bank. And as soon as you unpower it, it's gone. So if like the police come into your house trying to look, somebody's trying to look, and this is the police, if somebody's trying to look for Bitcoin and they come across, say like my girlfriend's hardware wallet, they can give that to like a forensic team, and they can quite possibly get that Bitcoin seed phrase off her hardware wallet. Whereas if like a seed signer, there's nothing on it. Like it's quite like it's not a problem to lend it out to people and stuff. And for them to create your own wallet on it, as soon as it's unpowered, it's gone. Like it's like
It's a tangible form.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like in cold storage, like it's you just make it from computer parts, like very basic computer parts, which are quite cheap. My most recommended wallet is Wallet of Satoshi, which is the most basic wallet out there, and it's just super simple. It's got a POS system on it, like for retailers, like really easy for them to just pop it up. And it also has an NFC function, so you can just have like a card and like PayWave on it. You can load the card up. So if you don't have internet, you just load it up and you can just pay with your sats on a card without needing the internet, which is really cool.
And on that we need to look for places where you can spend these valuable sats. So I messaged him and said, well, if you're coming over anyway, you might as well call, because Bitcoiners are still rare in the Philippines, as rare as Bitcoin. And I'd like to think that part of educating people about Bitcoin